really intriguing game. We'll start at the quarterback position. Zeb Nolan taking the reins yet again. I thought maybe we were done, but Zeb Simber is here, and Zeb Nolan will get the final opportunity to I don't know, add to the illustrious story that is the graduate assistant somehow, some way suiting up and doing it for a couple of games for the Gamecocks in 2021. You know, Alex, when I look at this game, and South Carolina sits as a 10-point underdog, and it was 7, went up to 10, I think, after the opt-outs and stuff like that. Total's 59, which blows my mind. I understand UNC's porous defensively, but the Gamecocks have been solid on defense, very good on defense, especially against the pass, and cannot do anything, at least for most of the season offensively. But Zeb Nolan, again, taking the reins. What are you expecting out of the guy? Again, you don't have Zaquandre White. I guess the recipe for success offensively is going to be basically what it was throughout the entire year, that we better hope the offensive line shows up and can lean on the running game, because as we know, asking Zeb Nolan to throw 30, 40, 50 passes is not going to be the recipe for success on the offensive side. And the Gamecocks should be able to score. UNC gives up 31 points per game. So what gives? Does South Carolina continue its offensive struggles, or can they take advantage of a porous UNC defense?
I would probably default to the former on that one, to be honest with you. Like, as an aside, is Colton Gauthier just like awful? Like, what like, we've got a month to prep him for this. Like Zeb's going to be a GA again after this bowl game. Like, how are we? Okay,
trust me, that's a great question, because people ask me about, you're adding quarterbacks, Rattler, Bailey, Davis, Doty will be back. They're like, oh, who transfers? I'm like, it has to be Gauthier, right? I mean, the dude hasn't cracked. He hasn't even sniffed the lineup. You know what I mean?
Like, let the boy take some snaps. See what you got. I don't know.
I mean, trust me, your guess is as good as mine, my friend. Your guess is as good as mine.
I mean, and I mean no disrespect by this to Colonel Zeb, but like, like the vibe I get from this is like this game is just like the physical embodiment of a jar of mayonnaise. Like, it's fine, but I'm not like pumped about it.
Fair enough. Yeah, and again, I talked to you off air about it, man, but the statistics are just baffling, that South Carolina has not thrown for 200 or more yards in the last 5 games. And I think, again, this is going to be a game you're going to have to throw the football with some effectiveness. Again, they give up 230 yards per game to the air, 170 on the ground. Whatever, win or lose, it's not going to be an indictment on the future of South Carolina football. If you win this, you're not going to win the national championship next year. If you lose it, the program's not headed down the crapper. It's a bowl game. It is what it is. It stands alone. But, man, the Gamecocks really should be able to move the football, man. There's just going to be no excuse. There's going to be no excuse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like, with the Zaquandre White not playing, it's not like you have like me as the next man up in the backfield. Right. I mean, we've got good players back there. So, I mean, hopefully we should be able to move the ball, and especially like with a month of practice time leading up to it, hopefully everybody's sharp. It's got the reps they need to get in, especially, because those guys opted out or hit the portal early. Like, you've gotten a lot of reps for everybody else. So there's very few like surprises lingering in there on who's going to be getting the football and who's going to be taking the snaps. So, hopefully that leads to some success. I mean, the last time we had an off week, we came into it pretty well. So maybe we'll do the same thing.
Yeah. And of course, Kevin Harris will be spearheading that rushing attack. Defensively, though, Alex, and again, I think this is a game where South Carolina, I don't know if you'd agree, they're going to have to score, I think, at minimum 24 points to win the football game. I don't think, again, your pass defense, top 10 in the country, exceeded all of our expectations. But UNC is going to move the football. I mean, they average 36 to 37 points per game. Sam Howell is a very legitimate player. They've got Ty Chandler at running back, which, if that name rings a bell, he played at Tennessee. Guy ran for 1,063 yards, 6.1 yards per carry, and 13 touchdowns. And I told you off the air, too, like the most baffling stat regarding UNC, we all think of Sam Howell, the passer. Dude, he ran for 825 yards this year and 11 touchdowns. He averages 75 a game on his own right. When you look defensively, I think the greatest key in the game, you got to find a way to make UNC one-dimensional. Obviously they can't be doing both and you have any chance. UNC averages 220 rushing yards per game. And Alex, get this, in games when you've allowed 180 or more rushing yards, you're 1-6. So, I know people get tired of hearing me say, oh, run the ball, stop the run. Like, yeah, we get it. But in a game like this, I just think that'll mean everything. You show me the rushing statistics, the final rushing statistics from UNC, I'll tell you what the margin of victory or defeat was in this ballgame.
100%. 100%. In addition to the fact, like, this is really the first, like, mobile quarterback we've played. But let me back that up. This is the first, like, guy that is, like, a contributor to the running game that we have played at the quarterback position. So, I mean, that's a new wrinkle you have to prepare for entirely. So, I don't want to be a negative Nancy here, but I would get ready to see some very frustrating long third down conversions on quarterback scrambles.
Yeah, I mean, you lose J.J. Enagbare for the game, and the Gamecocks already, the front seven just hasn't done it. They just have not stopped the run effectively enough. And again, you look at you look at this matchup, and it's just not favorable. It's just called for what it is. It's just not favorable.